Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and may I say it's a pleasure to follow the Honourable Lady for Luton South and South Derbyshire, Bedfordshire, who has so eloquently spoken with passion about the contribution of the Irish diaspora and particularly her community in Luton South and South Bedfordshire. A lot of South's being spoken about today, and we're talking about the south of Ireland as well and their contribution to the success of our own country, the United Kingdom. And it's a pleasure to take part in this debate today, and I thank the Honourable Member for Newcastle under Lyme for proposing a St Patrick's Day debate and to talk about Northern Irish affairs. And I'd like to commend him for the years of support he's given to British-Irish relations. And I remember when he was the Mayor of Haringey, and I remember St Patrick's Day, and he flew the Irish flag for St Patrick's Day and celebrated that important occasion in that London borough, and I thank him for that. Madam Deputy Speaker, if I may say that the celebration of St Patrick's Day is a great feast day of the year, and that's a time when we must all come together as one great British family to celebrate St Patrick, who is the patron saint of the island of Ireland, whom is shared by both Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. And that's a very important distinction to make. Some people think St Patrick is purely the patron saint of the Republic of Ireland, but as my cufflinks show with the Cross of St Patrick that I'm wearing today, St Patrick is also very much the patron saint of Northern Ireland as well. And I'm also pleased to say that St Patrick's Day is also my birthday. I was very pleased to be born on the 17th of March, so it's a very special day for me. And I have family connections with Ireland. They run deep. On my mother's side, my great-grandparents were Dempseys and O'Learys, although I'm very English, I have to say, but I'm proud of my Irish ancestry.
Except you're a mongrel.
As many of our Ulster members will know, St Patrick was a great saint whom we should aim to emulate. Fundamentally, this day reminds us of a figure who championed the Christian faith, a steadfast believer who came from the mainland to Ireland in order to cure the souls of natives. His mission: he was a man of solemn sincerity, keeping his promise to God to convert the non-believers. He was also clearly a man of great forgiveness and reconciliation, as earlier in his life he had been enslaved by the Irish, and so subsequently he came with a mission to save their souls for eternity. From the life lessons of St Patrick's sainthood, I believe we can clearly learn a great deal. Yet there are many things we could, in this country, could do as a nation to mark this very important day with gravitas, the gravitas I believe St Patrick's Day deserves. And so I would strongly submit that St Patrick's Day should be a national bank holiday alongside all the other feast days of our kingdom's patron saints. St George's Day, of course, on the 23rd of April, which will be soon, the 1st of March for St David's Day, and of course the 30th of November for St Andrew's Day. Not only would this be firmly in line with the position of Anglicanism as the unchallenged state religion, but would reinforce the importance of all four corners of our nation. So too would the resurrection of the Order of St Patrick, which has shamefully been allowed to fall into abeyance for many decades, but I believe remains a sovereign order of the United Kingdom. And I hope the Minister will take that back as a consideration for something to be restored. What a wonderful idea that would be if the Royal Order of St Patrick could be restored. And there are many people, I'm sure, would be worthy of that order should His Majesty decide to restore that order for use within the United Kingdom, and perhaps a wider family of Irish people who have contributed to relations between our two nations. And so I encourage the Minister to give serious consideration to that. The recognition we afford to days such as the feast day of St Patrick is not only about dressing in green, donning shamrocks and drinking Guinness. It is in fact about how we value the native people of these islands, their heritage, traditions and culture, which must be reflected in all our great British traditions under one king and one flag. Indeed, it is my view that the Irish, Ulster Scots and Anglo-Irish are all very much part of our family within our great British Isles. All the people of these islands are deeply intertwined in every area of life, from blood and history to literature and music and, of course, sport. We are fundamentally inseparable and should aim not only to embrace our historical connection, but enhance it now and into the future. To this aim, I was immensely proud to have chaired the British-Irish Parliamentary Assembly from 2016 to 2022, and followed by my honourable friend, we have worked together on that for many years. I am pleased to have recently been reappointed to BIPA. I believe that the role of the British-Irish Parliamentary Assembly is fundamental to advancing our shared prosperity economically, culturally and politically, and I will continue to work with colleagues from all legislatures throughout the British-Irish Parliamentary Assembly area and executives to strengthen bonds between the inseparable nations and, of course, the territories of the British Isles: England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, the Isle of Man, the bailiwick of Jersey and the bailiwick of Guernsey, and not forgetting Alderney and Sark. Today, I believe, Madam Deputy Speaker, we must focus more on bringing the four home nations of the United Kingdom and Great Britain, Northern Ireland together, and reversing the constitutional backsliding that I believe has occurred with the British internal market. So I have great sympathy with the Honourable Member for North Antrim on that area of policy. And despite this, the inseparability of the mainland and Northern Ireland remains clear in so many facets of national life: blood, culture and king, but to name only a few. And so I commend His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen for their outstandingly successful visit to Ulster recently, and praise the good people of Northern Ireland for providing such a heartening welcome and a demonstration of local pride. And I'm sure their Majesties will treasure their memories for years to come. The Crown has also received a wonderful reception in the Republic of Ireland in recent years, with Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's most notably visiting Dublin for the state visit, of course, in 2011, and speaking Irish to the assembled dignitaries. This was not only a characteristic example of Her late Majesty's exemplary good humour and reconciliatory nature, but also the warmth and goodwill between all of our peoples. The Republic of Ireland, Madam Deputy Speaker, I believe are our friends, but we can be much closer, fully realising that we are one family that share a unique group of islands in all spheres of national operation. Indeed, Ireland could do much more work themselves, alongside her British brother and her loyal northern neighbour, in recognising that shared heritage and advancing shared values and goals on the global stage. Ireland would do well to emulate countries such as Australia, Canada and New Zealand. I hope that one day, perhaps soon, the people of the Republic of Ireland might choose to take their rightful place in the family of the Commonwealth of Nations, taking our deep neighbourly relations to the next level to the benefit of both partners, and, I believe, having a bounteous benefit to global politics. May I also take this opportunity, Madam Deputy Speaker, to send our greetings to the good people of the British Overseas Territory of Montserrat, who also celebrate St Patrick's Day. St Patrick is also their patron saint, and they have most wonderful celebrations on the 17th of March. And so finally, may I say that in my own constituency of Romford, there are many people with heritage connected to the island of Ireland. There are in fact several Roman Catholic churches and community groups in my constituency and throughout the London Borough of Havering, which continue to cherish and celebrate the history and family connections with Ireland and celebrate the feast of St Patrick's Day as a marker of this proud heritage. Although I have much sympathy with and support for the Anglican Church of Ireland, for which I have huge respect, as Irish member of the Anglican Communion, it is only right that I acknowledge the wonderful Irish Catholic community in my constituency. I would like to pay special tribute to St Peter's Roman Catholic Primary School in Dorset Avenue, Romford, and the headmistress, Mrs Jenny Waterfield, who I've known for over 20 years. I pay tribute to her for the leadership of this wonderful school in my constituency and wish her well for, I believe, which is going to be her impending retirement later this year. I'd also like to give special note of thanks to the Roman Catholic Church of St Edward the Confessor, and especially to Father Dominic Howarth, who has led his parish from strength to strength, most notably with their splendid architectural improvements, providing a beautiful space for worship for the whole of our local community in Romford. In the Romford constituency, we also have the wonderful St Patrick's Roman Catholic Primary School and the Church of Corpus Christi, along with the Collier Row Catholic Club, all of whom serve the community in Collier Row and the whole of the North Romford area of my constituency. St Patrick's School welcomed me one year for my birthday on the 17th of March, where I was absolutely thrilled to take part in their St Patrick's Day celebrations and hear the children sing Irish songs and watch them take part in traditional Irish tap dancing. And in Hornchurch, which is also partly within my constituency, our community is served by St Mary's Roman Catholic School and St Mary's Roman Catholic Church in Hornchurch Road. And I'm always delighted to visit their annual Christmas fair and other celebrations throughout the year. I cannot also forget our Irish club in Hornchurch Road, the Iona Club, which is always at the heart of social gatherings and a truly welcoming place for members of the whole community. Although I have already mentioned the Anglican Church of Ireland, of which I am a great supporter, it would be amiss not to further underline the great contribution of the Anglo-Irish and Ulster Scots in Romford, of whom there are many. Originally, like St Patrick, they came from mainland Ireland, and now they have come home. They remain my steadfast supporters and are some of the most loyal people in the kingdom. Although I have to admit there is limited orange tradition within my constituency, although I'm wearing an orange tie today by no coincidence, but I often frequent the popular orange establishment in my constituency, the Orange Tree Public House in the village of Havering Atty Bow. Madam Deputy Speaker, to conclude, we must do more to mark St Patrick's Day on the mainland and encourage invigorated relations between all in these British Isles. With such deeply rooted blood ties between our islands and all that it entails culturally and politically, we must not let our relations dwindle, but rather raise them to new heights, standing shoulder to shoulder like never before, to greet shared opportunities and challenges alike. A very happy, belated St Patrick's Day to one and all.